Godparents are supposed to be semi-sane people that you entrust your kids with, right? I watched The Quiet, and what the The early 2000s seems like kind of an insane time, and watching the movies from then has been a journey so far. If you haven't checked out my video on Chloe, make sure you take a look because this is a series on my channel since I haven't watched pretty much anything. This is your official spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen The Quiet and you don't want to ruin it for yourself, go check it out and then come back here to hang out with me. This is also a trigger warning because there will be discussion of sexual violence, so please keep this in mind while watching ahead. Oh, The Quiet, you bizarre amalgamation of adolescent incest, douchebag teens, and a house in 50 Shades of Navy. We're definitely hitting some particularly horrifying boxes on the bingo card for 2005 Hollywood. The movie begins with a voiceover by our main character Dot. Dot is deaf and does not speak vocally. Most of her method of communication with people around her is reading their lips and then nodding or shaking her head in response to what they're saying. Camilla Bell, who plays Dot, voiceovers the beginning of the movie, and it's a really interesting choice for our introduction to her. She doesn't use her voice for the majority of the movie, but having her vocally share her thoughts just felt disingenuous, or maybe it was meant as foreshadowing. It just really goes to show that it is very much hearing people that made this movie, because they could have used a series of shots or some type of visual storytelling to show the viewer what Dot was saying or feeling, but they decided to go a route that would appeal more to hearing viewers. Dot's dad recently passed away, and she's now living with her godparents. Her godparents have a daughter the same age as her, and they attend the same high school. Nina is the exact antithesis of Dot. While Dot is socially alienated, Nina is surrounded by friends. Dot aspires to be invisible, and Nina participates in activities and a life in which she is very clearly seen. Nina and her friends are also awful to Dot, so as a viewer, you feel worse for her in that she has no respite from high school discomfort. There just isn't a safe space to retire to. The adults that surround Dot are also all-round disappointing. We got a guidance counselor lady that shouts in Dot's face in an attempt to communicate with her. We have an unwell godmother, Olivia, that is addicted to pills, and we have this guy. Ugh, I kid you not, every movie that I have seen this dude in, he is playing some type of domestic supervillain. I was so suspicious as soon as I saw his face. There was this one scene that validated all of my feelings before the shenanigans starts. Paul sees his daughter in the kitchen, and he goes up to her and tells her that her hair is long and soft. Have you heard that saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it? But in this situation, it is also what you say because it came off as peak pervy. Dot is very clearly struggling with the loss of her father. We have one scene where she dips her fingers in his ashes and then licks her fingers. Honestly, I think anyone would lose their mind in a situation like this. Because just imagine, picture it. Losing the only parent you have no friends, and then you move into the house of a girl that you attend high school with that makes no secret of her disdain for you. Dot swiftly realizes that this family setup is not anything like it seems, because she witnesses Nina's father in her bedroom, and you can fill in the blanks here. He is exactly what I thought he would be. There's one point in the movie where he goes into Dot's bedroom and starts confiding in her and thank all the gods and the universe, because if Dot hadn't pretended to be asleep, I'm certain she would have been his victim too. Dot plays the piano beautifully, and Nina comes home one day and hears Dot speak and figures out that she is in fact not deaf. As a viewer, this wasn't really much of a twist. I think it was the voiceover that really gave it away, because they had Camilla Bell do it. I think the intention was for it to be the voice in Dot's mind, like internal monologue type stuff, but it just gave the twist away for me. Also, Dot wasn't always looking at people's mouths when they were speaking to her, but she somehow always knew what they were saying. Nina decides to have some twisted fun with the knowledge that Dot can hear, and she very erotically tells Dot that she hates and loves what is happening with her dad, and tells her in unnecessarily graphic detail the types of things that the dad likes having done to him. She also tells Dot that she wants to kill her dad. No surprise, and also completely justifiable. Not like anyone would even argue this, but Hollywood is so messed up This fascination with horny teenagers is so weird. It hasn't even stopped in this time period though. It only continues. And you know what? It's not just teenagers having relations with each other. For some reason, Hollywood loves when they are being inappropriately and lecherously pursued by adults, like old-ass, creepy-ass people. Or they flip this trope on its head and show a teenager making advances to an adult. The adult allows it, acts on it, and then the movie or show tries to frame the adult as the victim? Gross. Very gross. All of the gross. There is also like a vibe between Nina and Dot, and it's not just in this scene where it looks like Nina is about to go cannibal on Dot's ear. Like, there is a queer-baity sort of tension, you know? There's also a side love interest thrown in here. Isn't this the guy that makes things cool in X-Men? Frosty or something? Their whole dynamic was the most boring part of the movie, but if you liked what they had going on, then leave me a comment, because I was just meh the entire time. He just talked at her and expected her to fawn all over him. I don't know, it's very Hinge 2020. We got unnecessary nudity, spooning on the side of a pool, and finally a massive confrontation between Nina and her father. The lead up to this is Nina wants to move to Florida, which is a decision. People at this time period, they weren't thinking about politics though. They're thinking about sunshine, sand, and oranges. She tells her father that she needs to get an abortion and that she needs cash to do so, and she plans to use this money as her runaway stash. The day of the semi-formal dance thing, the dad finds her tampons and confronts her. He is his abusive, awful self. The mom is watching TV, and Dot ends his disgusting life. Okay. This movie was a ride from beginning to end. Camilla Belle was definitely one of my celebrity crushes when I was younger, so it felt nostalgic to see her on screen again. I haven't seen any of her recent work. I think it's extremely disturbing though when you think about the more subtle elements of the movie. There are multiple scenes where Nina asks different characters if she's fat. I think, if she was fat, who gives a shit? But this preoccupation with size was really drilled into the minds of so many people that I know, myself included. It's also particularly scary when it's a slender blonde person that is made to reinforce these beauty standards and is normalizing preoccupations with weight, when all of these high schoolers should really be worried about finishing their homework and trying to get into college, or whatever the hell they're planning on doing with their lives next. That's also the funniest aspect of movies like this. I was in high school a minute ago, but I very clearly remember the all-nighters and trying to juggle a part-time job with school and trying to get my volunteer hours in. I don't even know if volunteering is even a thing anymore. Like, teenagers are busy, and most of them are too busy to get up to some of the stupid shit that Hollywood is obsessed with. Overall, if you're looking for something packed with a disturbing storyline, and a equally disturbing approach to the subject matter, then this is the movie for you, my friend. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for making it to the end. My name is Mahika, and I am a writer in progress. If you like this movie, I hope you'll subscribe because I have new videos coming out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I always have shorts in between. Leave me a like, and please comment with your thoughts because I want to know. Alright, I gotta go now. Bye!